Hey everybody, so before I try my round robin attempt, I wanted to just talk a little bit about what you're doing when you rub two things together. I have my helpers in the background here. For the demonstration here, I have a balloon hanging, and I have some fur. Don't ask about the fur, something I made a few years ago. And it works, you'll hear a lot about fur because it works really well with donating electrons. So when you rub two things together, this happens all the time as you walk around, as you take a shirt on and off. You're basically moving electrons from one thing to another. So I happen to know that the fur is donating electrons to the balloon. So for example, when I rub them together, the fur is donating electrons over to the balloon, so they end up with an opposite charge. So if you come closer, you can see that these things want to now attract each other because they have opposite charges. Now this is working so well that actually you can see that this is a much stronger force than gravity actually. Like look at this, really stuck to the actual fur here. So these have opposite charges and they want to attract. What is neat is we can give two balloons the same charge. So let me give a negative charge to this balloon and back away. I'll explain why in a second. And then give the same charge to this one, so another negative charge. So two negatives should repel each other. So you can see the repulsion there. Most of the lab is about something else that's very interesting, because most of the lab things are neutral. So you're actually polarizing things, and that's why I have to stay away from this a little bit, because it wants to attract to me. So, boys, give it a try. Play around a little bit.
Yay!
No, hop up. Come on.
Fine.
Okay, so giving a negative to the hanging balloon. Oh, and yes, Hunter is very attractive. John is also attractive. So this is interesting because these are not the same charge. The boys are actually overall neutral. So something negative attracted to a neutral is very much what's going on in most of the stations. So we'll get started with each station. Are you ready? So station one. So boys, so wonderful camera helper, come on over here a bit more. So station one is the soda can station. So for things around the house, I tried cutting a plastic folder and it works pretty well. I tried a bin lid, plastic bin lid, and that's working pretty well too. What really well is this piece of pipe insulation I found. So I don't know, try some stuff around the house, but watch how well this works. I have an empty soda can here. Let's see, boys, let's see if we can get the soda can to move. So rubbing my pipe insulation, and let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, it works so well before. Oh, there we go. Okay, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Oh.
Yay!
All right, boys, give it a try.
Okay, all right. Oh, my turn! Stop.
So the can is neutral, so by coming near it, what you're really doing is you're moving electrons around in the can. So since the can, especially because it's a conductive metal,
My turn.
when you bring a very negative object nearby, you push the negatives in the can to the other side. The negatives can move around. So when you bring a very negative object nearby, something neutral, you can move the electrons to one side, making the other side of the can positive. So that wants to attract to the negative. So you can attract something that's overall neutral to something that has a negative charge. Okay, over here to number 2 on the round robin. That is the hole punches and the salt and pepper. So if the beautiful camera person can get nice and close here, I have some cut up pieces of newspaper. Watch out, Hunter. And let's see what happens. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
That's cool.
So this is a much stronger force than gravity. All I'm doing is rubbing two things together and I can overcome gravity force-wise. There must be more force up than down to get the papers to go up. Let me flip this around. The pepper, if we get in close here with the pepper, basically the same thing. Whoa. Dancing around, and let's try the salt. And harder to see, but hearing it is very cool. You can hear it rain down on there.
I want to try.
Okay, you give it a try, Hunter, and then we'll cut to station 3 and station 4.